If you need to clean jewelry or watches, this ultrasonic cleaner is probably going to be your best friend. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I am holding in my hands right here this ultrasonic cleaner, and I am excited about trying this out because it has been a long time since I have cleaned my watches, my jewelry, the big gold chains that I used to wear when I was on the 18. But a lot of that stuff gets dirty. Even my wristbands, the ones I use on my Apple Watches, they kind of get a little grimy. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with them. Sometimes I've actually cleaned them with like a toothbrush, but something like this will make it a lot easier to clean a lot of stuff more thoroughly and quickly. Let's take a look at it and try it out. Alright, so let's take a look. Looks like we get an instruction booklet. I think these are pretty straightforward for the most part. And then here is the ultrasonic cleaner. And I have noticed that these things are pretty small but can fit a lot of jewelry. So what we get here is a cleaner, and it kind of reminds me of like a very small toaster. It's probably about the size of a jewelry box or a watch box. And you can see rubber feet right here. And then down here is all the hardware. So up here you flip up the top, translucent lids, so you can kind of see your progress. In here we have this basket, which is really nice, especially if you are doing a lot of stuff and you want to pull everything out at the same time. You've cleaned some rings, some bracelets, some jewelry, necklaces, and a watch and all that. You pull it out. You don't have any of that cleaning solution coming with it. You can just pull it out, and then all that solution is in here, and you can just dump that out. And then in here you can see max fill line, minimum fill line, and then this little stainless steel dish here is where all the cleaning action takes place, all that ultrasonic action. So I think it uses it's like a little vibration, but it's like sound that helps break up all that small particles. Obviously any detergent or the cleaner that you put in there with the water, which I'm going to use just a little bit of jewelry cleaner as well, just to kind of help loosen it up. But what I will do here is drop that in, the solution, the jewelry, close the sucker up, and then it looks like we just have buttons here on the front to make it go, and we have the plug on the back here, so we get this plug to power it while we were doing it. But let's see if I can take some of my jewelry, some of the stuff I wear on a regular basis that looks pretty clean, and see if it will make it actually even cleaner. Alright, so on to the test here. What I've gone ahead and done is I put just a squirt of cleaning solution, jewelry cleaning solution in there, like 3 drops, eyedropper drops, right? And then I put some water about halfway up here because I actually want to try some heavy duty stuff here as well. And I grabbed some jewelry here. This is jewelry, it hasn't been abused or anything, but looks pretty good. I actually would say that's pretty clean, but I know as you wear stuff, it just gets dirty. You get that sweat, that grime in there. I mean, the metal needs a little polishing where you can see it's been worn a little bit, but there's nothing that this is going to do for the polishing. But what I like about this, you might be able to see in there, kind of inside, they have all these cuts to reduce the amount of metal that they're using, at least the precious metals, as well as allow for the installation of like the diamonds or the jewels or rubies or the sapphires or the glass, whatever you put in these. And so there are a lot of little crevices and cracks that you can't get to. So, I think those look pretty good. I'm not going to brush them or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and drop them in here. And now I am going to go ahead and, it's going to be a little hard to see here, but we have some buttons right here. It may not be the easiest thing to see here, but I don't want to tip over the cleaner here, but you can go up to different settings here, and then I can hit press, or then I can hit play here, and that will start it. And as you can see, it's counting down from 180 seconds, so 3 minutes essentially. But the cool thing about that is then you can kind of do as thorough or as light of a cleaning as you want. So just going to let that run for a few more minutes, and then we will pull them out. Alright, the cycle just finished up here, so just going to open it up. And the cool thing about the basket is you can just pull it out like this and then fish out your jewelry. So I'm going to take this one out first here and just take a little look at it. Obviously needs to dry it off just a little bit here, but man, that looks pretty nice. Like I said, it wasn't super dirty or anything before, but it just has, man, a shine, especially like underneath where you really can't get in there easily. Seems like it's cleaned it up very nicely. Okay, all right, that looks pretty nice. All right, and then this one, especially with these little tiny pave diamonds, where if you have a toothbrush or something that you're using to clean that up, the bristles are probably going to be bigger than the spaces in between. So it's just going to be super hard to get in there. So if I take a look at that now that it's dried, again, looks pretty good there, but man, yeah, that is really glistening, really looking super nice. So on jewelry, which is kind of what this is designed for, I think it's very smart. Now, one thing I want to show you here is I have my Tough Solar watch here. This is a working man's watch. I never do anything about this or this one because, you know, I just wear them. They're solar powered. I don't have to worry about batteries or anything like that. And obviously you can see I've got some stains on the bands. The only way I clean up these watches is basically to wash my hands and then get some of that soap and water on the watches. Now, this may actually ruin these watches because what I have never done is had them serviced. I mean, when you're talking about a $20, $30, $40 watch, I'm not sure there's anything that they can do about them, so they may actually not be waterproof anymore. But what I am going to do here is I'm just going to take the bands off and I'm going to drop them in here and run this and see what happens. You know, like I said, never tried to clean them, but, you know, clean them under running water when I'm washing up, but they don't look bad, so just thought we'd try it and see if they come out looking all like high-end or something. All right, now what I was going to do is I was just going to drop these in here, but as I was thinking about it, these watch bands are probably pretty gross too. The only reason I really took them off is because they weren't going to fit well if I didn't take them off, so I'm actually going to drop these in first, get those submerged, and then just going to throw these in as well. Again, I'm not sure that you're supposed to do this, but you know, my channel, my rules. All right, I'm actually going to set this for a decent amount of time here. I'm going to set this for 380 seconds and let this guy go because I really want to give these a thorough cleaning. Again, I could probably take a brush to them, but this is less abrasive, I think. You know, there's nothing rubbing on it. I'm not going to worry about the finish. You know, it's just using sound to get the dirt off. So we'll give it the now 363 seconds left and see what happens. All right, we just finished up here, so I'm gonna open it up here and take a look at what we got. Grab my towel. I'm actually gonna say right off the bat, the water is looking a little murky, which it's kind of grossing me out a little bit. But like I said, I can pull up on this so I don't have to get my fingers in the water itself. And I'll just turn it like this. All right, well, it's gonna be hard to see if some of these things are cleaner, but I mean, this plastic band looks pretty good. I mean, where it's a little wet, still needs a little cleaning up. You know, this is canvas and so cloth, so it's going to be hard to clean, I think. In fact, probably wouldn't mind just running that through the washing machine, but it's pretty good. It looks like it's impregnated in there pretty good. You know, but all the little stuff where the stitching is, the little notches, that's kind of like areas that can get cleaned without, you know, having to get a small tool in there or something, right? All right, now we're really curious about the watches. So I don't necessarily see any water in the watch, which is good news. So hopefully that water resistance is still there. So yeah, no water in the watch, but might be able to tell there. Man, it looks like a brand new watch, to be really honest. I thought it looked okay before, but man, it just looks better. And again, you haven't put anything harsh on it, right? I mean, it might be a little hard to tell here. I'm going to push that aside just so that we can get a little better focus here. But man, that looks great. I mean, other than wiping it down, and even in the little crevices there, it looks super clean. Yeah, that looks darn near new to me. And then we've got my Citizen here, my Eco Drive. And if I give this a little wipe down, see what that looks like. And the back looks very shiny, all right? And this looks amazing too. I'm just really impressed by that. I mean, even this, like, plating on the side here, it's just shiny and new. The Love Boat right in there, the lugs, beautiful. I mean, that's impressive. Okay, so I want to take a look at the water here. Oh, started again. All right, and look at that. That's actually kind of gross. And that just shows you how much I use these watches. The last time I used this one, I was on a long weekend camping trip where we were slugging through mud. It rained one day, pretty much the whole day, so we were out in the forest all day. We were on the beaches. So now I have like organic remnants of that trip. But that's kind of gross. I mean, it's not like murky like mop water, but I can't believe all that stuff came off those watches. And a lot of it, to be honest, probably came out of the bands. I mean, that's where you're going to sweat. This is where it's going to hold on to that moisture and you know, collect it really. So maybe putting the bands in there was a really good idea, but that's a pretty impressive result. So if you want to pick up a sonic cleaner for your jewelry, you know, keep your jewelry looking nice, keep it blinged up, or for your outdoor gear that sometimes lacks a little love that we should be giving it, hey, you should pick this up. It's quick, easy, requires no elbow grease, and is very affordable. I'll put a link to this one in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.